Alright everyone, welcome to the Space Viking Chronicles. I'm Margaret Krohn, and with me today is this whole slew of beautiful, wonderful people. Hopefully you guys are all gonna enjoy tonight. It's gonna be madness, but you know, for a good cause, for a good cause. If you don't know what we're doing, we're basically playing Dungeons & Dragons for the kids over at St Jude, where we're raising a crazy amount of money. You can see over here how much money we've raised already, which is just absolutely insane. Last week we were able to hit $8,704.50. This week, if we reach 9,000, I will be doing a Steam giveaway. Plus, we will also be, Manbeast has offered to do the milk challenge on top of his habanero challenge. He wants to do them back to back. He's a crazy man. I don't know. He's like, well, if I'm going to do the habanero, I might as well do the milk challenge. I was like, okay, well, maybe I can tie it to something to make it make sense. And we're trying to figure out schedule for the habanero challenge when we're gonna be able to do that, because we have to do it in a different setup, because I'm afraid that if, you know, there's any chance of somebody throwing up or something, that I have to be able to easily move the camera away and also not have anything happen to my computer. So we'll probably do like a mobile setup or something like that. But thank you guys so much for helping us reach that goal. And, you know, we'll see what we can reach tonight, if not even more. But if you guys want to, you can do !St Jude in chat, or if you're watching this over on YouTube, you'll see links down below for all of that goodness. But let's go around quickly, let everybody introduce themselves, and then I'll tell you guys how you can affect our Dungeons & Dragons game. Because we've got a new person here, and you know, the hazing has to start with the wild magics. So let's
I believe in you, chat. We can do it. 9,000 tonight, easy.
So first things first, I'm actually gonna, you normally go clockwise, but today we're gonna go counterclockwise, just so that our new guest can introduce himself, as well as, let's not introduce your character yet, okay? I always like doing doing grand entrances where I ask you lots of personal questions about your character. So, first of all, tell us who you are, where people can find you at.
Hi everybody, I'm Paladin Hulk. I am a Twitch moderator for Roll For It, which is great, Geekspace TV, and Random Tuesday. And you can find me in the chat on a lot of Twitch channels, because I like me some Twitch. And that's me.
Yes, welcome. He is starting, and as our world works, we have a persistent world, so we have new cast every week potentially, pending the story and availability of people, but I have built it so that we can easily do something new each week and have new people join us, and it has worked out very well thus far. Today everybody's on a different sheet for their background stories, so I'm like, pull it all out. Next up, we'll talk to Uthal, aka Snaz. Snaz, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then if you want to introduce your character, since, you know, Snaz has been around. I think you're the highest level of everyone here, potentially. Baz is pretty close.
Baz are tied.
Okay, you're tied.
So, I've been a Space Viking for about 6 months now. Let's see. Other than that, I just love what Maggie's been doing with everything, raising all the charity and stuff. So,
yes, let's raise some charity.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, someone scared the crap out of me.
I'm playing Uthal, who's a Sorcerer Goliath. If you haven't met him before in a different session, so all the crazy things happens to Uthal.
You've been staying your Goliath self lately, though.
Lately. Just wait for it.
Just wait for it. There'll be a time. And of course, thank you so much to Carrick for joining us and becoming a Space Viking. Welcome to the Space Vikings. Normally I do like this crazy intro thing, but obviously we're in the middle of the show. So thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to click that Discord link. And also, if you are a subscriber and you are interested in playing and being part of this and volunteering yourselves, just go ahead and message anybody with a blue name under community team, and they'll be able to hook you up with access to the channel and make sure that you meet the requirements. There are extra requirements other than just being a Space Viking, because we are putting on a show, so you need a microphone and a camera and all that jazz. But they're easy to pick up one and grab one. It's a lot of fun, and you don't have to have ever played Dungeons and Dragons before. We walk you through it all. I always use Tech Priest as an example because Roxy's like one of my favorite characters. I don't know why, it's so precious. And you know, he's new and very shy, and like we were able to get him to just have a good time. And I think that's, you know, that's what we're all here for, is to have a good time and raise money for a fantastic cause. So moving on to our next person, we're going to talk to Derp Digital. Tell us a little bit about you, as well as tell us who Varys is.
Hi, my name's Rick. I am head moderator for Roll For It and Enter Elysium. I have my own YouTube channel and Twitch channel. I'm a busy person, but not quite as busy as Maggie. She's just on that next level that none of us can reach.
What is the word busy at this point?
I play Varys. He is a Wood Elf Ranger who is pretty convinced right now, thanks to wild magic, that the forest is actually out to get him. It's gonna attack him, like the grass, the trees, the bushes. They're all plotting. Have to get them first.
It's a ranger who's afraid of...
My favorite terrain is out to kill me.
It's the best thing ever.
Does that make it your favorite enemy now?
Oh.
That's fun.
Ooh.
The infamous enemy.
I also have a love-hate relationship with a dragon going on. That's a thing.
There is a thing going on with the dragon. Definitely a thing going on with the dragon. Anything else you want to add in there? I don't want to cut you off.
That's pretty much it for now. He walks around with double quivers because, you know, one quiver just isn't arrowy enough for him.
All right. Next up, and last but not least, we have the one, the only, standalone, aka playing Baz. Baz and our Stan. Tell us a little bit about you, and tell us a little bit about Stan. Or, Stan, tell us about you, and tell us a little bit about Baz. Oh, I'm having the struggle tonight. I'm sorry. It's been a long day of work, and then
Oh yeah,
we're gonna make it through this.
I believe in you. Hey, I'm Standalone. I don't really do anything all that interesting, but you can find me on here and in the Space Viking Discord. Not a whole lot to say about me, but I play Boz, the half-orc, half-fighter paladin.
I call him like 10 different things. Baz, Baz. And I'm sorry. I'm never going to pronounce it right.
That's fine. And yeah, he's the half-orc fighter with the iron mask and somewhat dark past.
Ooh, yes. We have a whole slew of people with different pasts here. And of course, I want to give a thank you to Mark and Fatal for the host. Appreciate it. We have a long night. I'm excited for it. Over here, if you guys want to partake in the Dungeons and Dragons yourself as a viewer, you don't only just have to watch. You can also be part of it in many other ways. You can donate to any of these by doing !St Jude in the chat. And $5 is going to give an inspiration to someone. You have to make sure you tell me who you'd like to give it to, or I will choose, or I'll let the
31
dice,
years. I'm so old now.
Please let the dice decide.
31 months. Thank you so much, Mark, for the 31 months of support. Appreciate it, homie. We were just talking about sub badges. I'm going to be like double checking on my artists for that. $10 or gives you a natty 1 or a natty 20. Make sure you specify which one you're giving and who you're giving them to. $15 is wild magic. Make sure you specify who you're giving that one to. And $20 is a magic item. Same thing. $30 is a threat. $30 gets you, you can give me a recommendation for what's going to happen, but normally I will kind of decide whether the threat is necessarily, it might not always be a monster. It could be a buff to a monster. It could be a situation where they could be in a potential bar fight, depending on how they parlay, or other things of that sort. So a threat does not always mean like a monster appears, but sometimes it does. And then you have like
Sometimes
5 fire elementals. It's great.
Seems like a lot.
At level 3 to battle. Oh, Mark, thank you for gifting the sub to Anna. Welcome, Anna! Oh, you guys are too sweet. So, to start things off with, we are going to be in... We're going to be in Blitzville. Thank you, Iman. I will make sure that happens soon. Also, a Mag God should be one of the emotes that is in Better Twitch TV as well. So there's some Better Twitch TV emotes that are in there now. We are going to start things off in Vliptville. Vliptville is a permanent world where we have all kinds of things that happen, and all the new characters in our world can affect the world, but we always start in the same place, always, which is Vliptville. So first of all, I'm going to go around and I want to see what our players that were here previously, and I think everyone was here last week except for Paladin Hulk, are up to. So if there's something specifically that your character would want to do, what happened last week was, where we left off was the door to the inn would not open, and at the end of the evening, a few of them had to figure out how to get the door to open, and they were able to dispel magic, open the door, and people fled, horrified that they almost got locked in the inn. And then everyone kind of went and rested for the evening. Although I believe Varys went to his tent during the evening.
He's very grumpily next to the forest where he was camping.
Yeah, during the evening, something happened, and each of them was left with some type of gift. There was a box in each of their rooms, or in Varys's case, right outside of his tent. They're not sure how it got in there. I think a lot of them did a lot of investigating and trying to figure out if there was any clues as to who could have possibly left the box in their room. But none of them were able to see or tell. I think one person did get a hint. That was Uthal got a little bit of a hint. And they each got a magic item. I don't know if you guys want to talk a little bit about what the magic item is that you each got.
Sure, I'll kick it off, I guess. So, Varys used to be a normal, boring ranger with only one quiver, with just regular arrows in it, but then suddenly he found a box outside his tent with 50 arrows of +3. They are pretty green arrows with a red-tipped stone. They look coated with some kind of liquid, maybe a bit of poison or something, and they have beautiful peacock feathers. They're very rare, and so naturally he had to get his own quivers. Now he can dual quiver, because having to choose a limited ammo loadout is for suckers.
Also trying to figure out which one's which when you're in a rush, now you know which one you're grabbing at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that idea. And of course, I don't know, Uthal, if you want to talk a little bit about what item you got, or you almost destroyed as you got.
Yeah. So I got it's a cloak of protection it had this pin in it that a person inside the bar had been wearing, or the tavern had been wearing. So that's my only clue. This woman was wearing a pin that is also on the cloak.
Yeah, it's like the clasp to the cloak, and it's very similar to one that you've seen before. You can't quite put your finger on it because I don't think your character met her, but you did see her in the inn before. You've spent, how many weeks here now? You've been here for quite some time, and so you have seen that lady in and out of the inn quite a few times. And of course, Baz, what was the item that you got?
All right. He got a belt of giant strength, which increases his strength to 21, which is ridiculous. And it bears the symbol of Helm on it, which is the god that he is a very little paladin of.
Which, Baz was trying to get initiated in the Church of Helm. During which, would you like to tell the story of what happened last week?
That was a story of incredible timing by wild magic. Just as the priestess was asking Baz why he would like to join the church, he suddenly started uncontrollably reading the contents of a book on what was it exactly?
Bowel movements.
It was bowel movements.
Yeah, bowel movements. Was it like bowel movement abnormalities or something like that?
Bowel,
Too?
yeah.
Yeah, and he couldn't stop until he read the entire book that he's never seen. He just covered his mouth and left.
He just awkwardly left the church while still doing it and covering his mouth, and she just watched him well, that was strange. Not the strangest thing she's seen from you, though. You did turn into stone in front of her.
That did happen that one time, yeah.
Yeah. He got real hard in front of her. It was great. But I'm bummed. Sorry. I had to. I'm the worst.
It was a bit of a crapshoot, let's be honest.
We were making, like, bowel movement jokes in the D&D chat earlier today. And then Stan's like, I don't know what's worse, the situation that happened or your guys' puns. But leaving off with that, is there anything that you all would like to do? Or are you all kind of like meeting in the morning after you get these gifts and you're kind of sitting in the inn? Is that more of like what would happen first?
I would probably pick up a dagger on my way to the inn. Just like a regular plain dagger.
You're just picking up a regular plain dagger. If you have the money for it, go ahead and detract that from your character sheet and go ahead and grab that.
Cool.
Do you need the amount or you got it?
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay. It's in the player's handbook. It's super easy to find.
Yeah.
A dagger's nothing crazy. Cool. On your way, you stop by. On your way, you see someone selling some wares. They have like a bunch of different knives and daggers and a couple swords. And you find one that you're just like, you kind of toss it up in the air, check how fluid it is, and you're like, this one will do. You're not looking for anything crazy. And you snatch it up, toss some coins their way, and head on your way to the inn, as you do every morning. How about you, Baz? What are you doing?
I think he's also picking up a weapon. I think he's getting a couple of throwing axes, or hand axes rather, because the T-Rex that had them embedded in him was taken away.
Yeah. Actually, as Varys is finishing his transaction to grab this dagger, you actually arrive at the same vendor looking for some axes. There's a couple axes there. You're just looking for regular throwing axes?
Yeah, just a pair of hand axes.
Just to track them from the amount from your character sheet. Those should all be in the player handbook. Easy peasy to find. They're not super costly. Do you do any interactions with one another as you see each other?
I'd probably wave him down. It's like, hello, Bass.
Yeah, Buzz walks up, he waves back, says, Varys.
I've been doing a bit of thinking lately, and that dragon's been continuing to bother me. Could I have a word with you in the inn later?
Yes. It's a little concerned, but he nods and agrees.
Good. And I'll continue on my way then, I guess.
You guys are crazy.
What just happened?
Yes.
There are, I'm just going to say thank you, Endwell, so much. I will add that to the things that we're going to do. And Frank, you are a madman. And yes, I will do it how you requested in a bit. Oh, Tover, your welcoming ceremony's gonna be an interesting.
The hazing
one.
has begun.
You might be a different character by the beginning of the show.
We prepared him. It's fine.
So you guys have that interaction. You say, "Hey, can I talk to you later?" And he says, "Sure." You finish your transaction, Varys, and then Baz, you go looking. You kind of test out. Holy crap! You guys are madmen. Thank you, Mark Dean, so much for gifting all those subs. Welcome to the Space Vikings. Jeez. Thank you, guys. I don't even know what else to say beyond that. Thank you so much. Just so you guys know, I am giving half my Twitch money that I get, so any subs that I get or any bits, I'm also giving half of those. I do that every month. I give those in, and you can see it in the list. I just say it's from the Space Vikings. And I donate that towards... thank you, as Mr. And tosses his 1 bit in. 0.5 of that bit is going to charity, or I guess 0.5 of what I get from Twitches. Cool. Whew. Nate, what about you? What is your plan?
So Uthal wakes up, and he's
He's covered. You have been getting the max amount so many times.
Why?
Uthal has 8 more severed human ears on his body, like on his chest. You wake up. Do you put them in the bucket? How many buckets do you have now? You only have one. It's probably overflowing. I'm going to say you're going to have to buy another bucket.
Yeah, I have 85 ears now.
Yeah, I think...
The logistics.
How much does a bucket hold? I feel like a bucket does not hold 80. How about once it hits 100, you have to get a new bucket?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's actually gonna... Is there a window in my in-room? So he's gonna put the bucket next to the window.
Roll me a 1d20. If it is an odd number, you don't have a window. If it's an even number, you do have a window. It's not a number, you don't have a window.
Darn it.
Ooh, that's gonna smell.
Then I guess I'll just keep it under the bed for now.
You have prestidigious, right? Prestidigitation,
Yes, I
so you can like make it clean. He can clean it. You just scrape off them, toss them in the bucket, slide the bucket over. Oh,
Yeah.
did you clean up the pile of them that had formed from the other night where you had woken up 5 times?
He will clean
Okay.
that up.
All right. Anything else that you're doing?
And then he'll probably just... He might leave the inn and like go outside to like a green space to just practice with his new greatsword.
Okay. Yeah, let's do some practice swings. I like that idea. Roll me a couple attacks with your new weapon. Just you find a practice dummy, you can just roll. The dummy's gonna be like DC 10, and then go ahead and roll your damage.
This is gonna be sad if I miss.
Hey, it's your practicing.
With a +9.
24, yeah, you hit. Let's see how much damage you do.
Hail, Space Viking.
You should be able to just click the...
There, roll. There it is.
Damn.
So it's just the 16.
Yeah. The extra is for if you do the ranged force, right? Yeah, do it a couple more times, and again, it's a DC 10, so you can do the damage if you hit.
Okay.
You're doing practice rounds.
Hope I hit because
Just so people can get a good idea of like how much damage you do now with your new freaking ridiculous weapon. He's had this weapon.
Space Viking.
How many episodes have you had this weapon? You never ever identified it.
All
How many
of them.
episodes have we done?
Was that from episode 1?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
Wow.
my god. I kept telling them, I'm like, you still have that great sword. And like, they're like,
I can't use
yeah,
the great
we'll look at it later. I'm like, but it's a good weapon. I kept reminding you.
I was like, well, I have this great axe.
So, yeah. I could do some pretty
That's
solid
true.
damage.
Baz did the same thing. He had a weapon and he
Hail,
didn't look at
Space
it.
Viking.
Cool. Yeah, you do a couple. You do a couple swings. And what is Uthal's thought process like? What is he thinking as he's swinging this weapon, and what does it look like as you do these crazy, beautiful blows? You're swinging this weapon, and even though it's daylight, it's almost like the light is like hitting the sword perfectly, and you're seeing these glints of light as it slashes through this test dummy.
So as he's swinging, you might be able to hear like the swish of it just going through the air, just slicing the air. And because he's actually never used a greatsword before, he's kind of testing it out, just seeing how much strength he needs to put into it to actually get it moving. So a few of his swings like are kind of lazy, but then once he starts getting into it, he almost destroys the dummy. Kinda.
Oh no, yeah. I like that idea.
Where is this that you're practicing at anyway?
It's outside. If you roll me a perception check, Baz, I'll let you know if you see him or not. You have a natural 20, right?
Hail, Space
Yeah, I do.
Viking.
Yeah, so remove one of those nat 20s, and yeah, you see it. By the way, thank you so much, Mighty Rick, aka Derp. Thank you so much for gifting all those subs. Appreciate it. As well as Harley for the bits and Frank for the bits. You guys are too sweet. Yeah, so you see him over there. He's often like off at the side, like out in the grass. There's like a couple dummies that are lined up, and you can see that like this area does not look like it's well kept. It once was probably a training ground for maybe like the guards that are local here. The ground where it used to be basically looked like it was well traveled, like it was dirt, is now kind of got little buds of grass kind of growing in between the rock. You know, it looked like it once wasn't there, but now it's little bits are growing in. And you can totally see the trail that Uthal has made, especially since he's quite large. You can see his footprints imprinted and like kind of crushing bits of the grass and the dirt that's there. And he's made his way through.
Yeah, I think that he sits there and watches without saying anything for a while, especially if he comes up behind Uthal.
Yeah, and you actually see, you're watching what Uthal's doing, and it looks amazing. This sword that he has, it looks like he's doing some work on this dummy.
I think after a little bit, Uthal just hears from behind.
I like that.
Uthal will turn around and do a bow. He's pretty charismatic like that.
Yeah, and as you have this interaction going on, and Varys is like walking in, as Varys is opening up the door to get into the inn, we're gonna pan over to our new player, Paladin Hulk, aka Tover. Tover, where are you from?
Hello, I'm Tover, elven name.
Don't tell us everything about you yet. I'm gonna ask you specific questions. You're gonna answer them. We're gonna slowly introduce your character.
From the elven capital,
You're
wherever
from
that might be.
the elven capital. Okay, you tell me the name of it. You get to name it. This is your world.
Oh, I'm bad at elven names.
Okay. I'll give you a name. Elven capital. I like the idea of it sounding very like elven, so maybe Elethandriel.
Perfect.
Yeah, Elethandriel is where you're from. Very hard to write and very hard to say. Yeah, you're from there. What is the capital like? Like, why are you leaving it specifically?
Well, the capital is a fantastic place of like marvels of magic and ease, comfort, equality. It's basically paradise.
Why would you leave paradise?
Well, let's not dwell on that, but well, I joined a little druid group, which, you know, is like the old-fashioned elves who are resistant to progress, because I wanted to learn magic, and well, they discovered that my motives for joining their little circle were less than ideal, so they got sort of quite angry at me, and I left.
You
Rather
left.
in a hurry.
You weren't. Did you leave, or were you exiled and you left?
Well, these are just words. I'm here now. What does the past matter?
Okay. I like the note. Yeah, so you are on your way, you're traveling. What brings you to Vliptville? What attracted you to come this direction, or does it just happen to be along your path?
Well, I figured that if there were angry druids after you, that a place where random magical shit happens is a perfectly safe place, because who in their right mind would come here?
Ah, okay.
And I figured as an elite sorcerer, I would be immune.
Immune. Oh, dear Tover.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Yeah. Yeah, you think that. And as you're traveling, you actually you're a noble background, right? So you actually find a couple horses and a fellow that actually drives the cart for you, and you sit in your lovely carriage while someone else drives it and takes you down the pathway. And at times you stop and you marvel at the new locations that you go to. Maybe you pick up a few knickknacks here and there from different locations as kind of like memorabilia from like the moments that you had from playing card games in an inn in this one location, and maybe a scarf from a maiden that you chatted up in another place. And so you've kind of gotten some of these things, and you've been enjoying your travels whilst you left, and perhaps using a little bit of your magic to sway the tides for you at times. What does your character look like?
Well, as a high elf noble with some draconic blood, I am dazzlingly handsome. And I mean, like, full-on long blonde hair, a beautiful blue outfit that defies description because I'm bad clothes. And it's just the picture of elven nobility.
I love it. Yeah. And as your cart slowly gets closer into town, you're perhaps maybe a mile away. Can you roll me 1d10,000?
Let's find out. 1d.
And this is going to be from E-Man, who says initiation. So 749. Ooh.
That's a really high number.
Roll me 40-12. Roll me 40-12. Yeah, the higher the number, the scarier it is. Roll me 40-12.
40-12.
Roll me a dexterity save.
Oh no.
And I'll tell you what happens.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So it's going to be there. Ooh, okay. You are going to win the save, but here's what happens. Your carriage is trotting along. What are you doing in your carriage as it's trotting around? It's probably midday.
I'm reading.
Oh no, it's
elven
morning. It's
poetry,
morning. You're reading
which is
poetry?
the only pastime worth having.
Oh yeah, tell us. Start reading your poetry for us. What is it about?
You want me to read poetry? That's a little too much to ask of my.
No. You don't have to read poetry, but tell us like what the poetry is about.
Like the grand future of the elves.
Oh yeah, you're reading this epic poem about the future of elvenkind, and it's coming to like the climax of the poem, and you're reading it out loud actually, because I mean, why not? You want to make sure that
36 months.
the carriageman who's driving for you can also hear it. You know, you feel like he should be educated and understand the elven ways and of the nobles. And as you're reading this line, the carriage starts shaking. Does your carriage have windows, or is it more of like?
Most of them do, so I would say yes.
Yeah. So do you look out the window as the carriage starts shaking? Yeah, you slide open the window, you look out, and the carriage is shaking, and the ground around the carriage looks like it's sinking into the ground. The horses are screeching and making this horrible neighing sound that you've never heard a horse make before. It almost sounds like a dying cow. And the footman who's like trying to rally the horses is like, whoa, oh my goodness. And he's like, he's slowly falling off the carriage. And as he does this, you swing open the door, you jump on top of the carriage, and you take a giant leap as you see the ground within a large radius of you is sinking. And as you get to the edge of the sinking ground, you look out. Within 50 yards of where you are, the ground has sunk. The horses are down below. The guy who is driving your carriage is down there. Your carriage is gone. Anything that you had in the carriage that you didn't have on your person is gone. All those little knickknacks that you bought along the way, they're gone unless you're holding on to them. Maybe a couple of your books are no longer with you because you probably brought like a bunch of them with you. The nice comfortable sheets that you brought from your bedroom are gone. And you look out and you just see for 50 yards, just the ground is gone. It looks like maybe there were some houses that were taken. And you look down into the sinkhole and it looks like it goes for miles and miles on end.
Well, this is unfortunate.
All within 50 yards must save or sink 12 inches into the ground.
Ooh.
Yeah, that
But
would
I'm
be
making it miles
death, though.
because it's
Yeah.
more fun that way.
So do I think that there's any point in me digging for this carriage driver?
That is on you. That's on you to decide. Is that something that Topher would do?
Like, I have the impulse, but if it looked like he'd be just immediately dead, then why bother?
Not necessarily you'd be immediately dead, but it looks like that hole goes pretty far. Do you want to roll maybe a perception check to see how far it goes?
That makes sense. Let's do that. Perception.
Yeah, you look down and you kind of peek over the edge. You're not sure how you're kind of afraid to go too far along the edge because you're self-preservation is your most important thing, right? Like, you're worried about you first, and you look down and it's like, I don't want to get too close to the edge. And you look and it does not look like you're going to be able to help him. You can't even see him down there as you're looking. You kind of can see the bodies of the horses, but barely.
Well, that's not good. That's not gonna work. Oh well. I'm sure there's more humans out there somewhere. And more carriages.
That is the way he thinks about it as he turns around, and you're gonna roll me 8 1d10,000s.
Holy bananas. Let's hope one of them gets me out of here.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna make it to town.
Oh man, that must be Frank.
I'm sorry.
It was Frank. He bought 8 of them.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay.
It's all for charity, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
will
for a
you-
good cause.
That's why I was like, your character might not be the same character you initially came into town with.
That work?
No, it's you do 1d1000 8 times.
Okay, but you can still see them, right?
Yeah, no, never mind. That works actually. That works. I just can't copy paste them easy, but I can type them.
That's a good, lovely spread of numbers.
All right, let's go first.
I like it.
You stand there. You look down at the ground, and you know what? You're like, nope. I can't do anything for you. I can find a different carriage driver. I can find more horses. And you turn around and you begin walking. But as you're walking, you have this revelation. You think to yourself, I'm probably going to die by drowning in melted butter. So please write as a character feature that you prophesize that you'll die by drowning in melted butter. So you probably have some like phobia of melted butter. Let's see what the next one is.
Oh, that's great.
Write this down as well. Actually, would you like it to happen and I will just let you know what happens when it happens? Or would you like to know this now in advance? I will give you the option.
If it's something that the character can't know yet, then let's leave it until it happens.
All right, I like that idea. I like the element of surprise. I'm just gonna make a note here for myself
The tavern.
that Topher will experience this thing potentially. Well, you'll experience it this episode. I will make sure of it.
If I die in the next thing.
It's more fun than that. Let's go to our next one. Oops, I messed up. It's hard to get to all these numbers. All right, your next one is going to be You know everything about yourself.
Of course, I'm fascinating.
That is like a strange thing. I guess maybe if you had lost your memory or something, that would make sense.
Does that mean that he knows about the other wild magic that he doesn't know about?
That's a good question.
Good point. Yeah, I will say that actually, yeah, it does. You are going to become wildly drunk when you're next hit by a weapon. So go ahead and write that down. Next time you're hit by a
Well,
weapon,
that's exciting.
you are going to just become wildly drunk, and you know it. That's a good point. Good point. Baz, I
You
like
better
that.
hope that a monk doesn't give you a shoulder clap. It's like, atta boy, magic
Roll
fist.
me-
Oh, that's a weapon.
Roll me a 1d12.
Okey-doke.
I'm glad this is happening outside a tavern, so it
Did
doesn't
someone
get called
say
in the
we'll
blast
be
for
drunk
once.
hype?
Yeah.
Nine.
One time the tavern won't get destroyed.
9. All mechanical locks within 1 mile are invisible for that many months. So how many months is that? 9 months?
Months.
9
Wow.
months.
Oh man.
Okay. So,
It's gonna make thievery much harder.
yeah, it is going to.
Oof.
But none of you guys have been really stealing things yet.
Am I
we're
at
the
the city
heroes.
limits? Like, is this going to hit the town?
Oh yeah, it hits the town. You are 1 mile within the town, so it definitely hits the
Oh,
town.
nice.
8. On the next one, and we've got. Who do you like? What deity do you believe in, Topher?
Gods. None of them.
You don't believe in any deity? You're like an
I
atheist?
believe they exist. I just don't like them.
Ah, there's not one that you follow in particular.
Like maybe Corellon, the elfin god. Like we have to give lip service.
Okay. You believe that you can speak to them. So note that down as a feature. You believe that you can speak to that god in particular.
All right.
That is another feature of your character. We still
Bring
got
her
more
on.
to go. All vegetation within 10 miles tastes like manure when cooked.
Ouch.
I'm going to write that down as well.
Oh,
So that means
this poor town.
anytime you guys eat cooked vegetables, it's also going to taste like that. That affects everybody, not just...
It's a good thing we have an expert on bowel movements now.
That's gonna come in handy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, you think to yourself, I am gonna die by melted butter. And as you're thinking this, you're walking and you're continuing to walk, and all of a sudden, you take a step, and your foot slowly starts disintegrating. Roll me a 1d20. If it is even, it is your left foot. If it is odd, it is your right foot. Okay, it's your right foot. Your right foot starts disintegrating. What is Topher thinking when this happens?
I see it. Do I fall over?
You can roll me a dex save to see if you fall over.
All right, let's do that. Because that's important for if it's, an illusion or actually my foot's gone.
I was expecting him to stumble his way into town, but not like that.
Yeah. Dex save 4. Yeah, I fall on my butt, which makes sense because I'm not used to walking.
Yeah,
around with one foot.
you take a step forward, and as you do, your foot starts disintegrating, and you fall to the ground, toppling over yourself. Some of your items start falling out from your pockets and your pouches.
I crawl away from whatever spot that was, thinking I'm maybe stepped on a magic landmine or something.
Yeah, you back up. Your leg doesn't seem to hurt; it's just gone. So it's like.
The whole leg?
Not your foot. So right where your ankle meets your foot is just gone. Like your foot's just gone. And you look down and you're horrified to see your leg, but it looks like it's not bleeding or anything. It's just like your foot is gone.
I check to see if it's really gone, pat the ground where my
Yeah,
foot
maybe it just was invisible or something. You start putting your hands through, and No, you pass through and your hand goes to the ground.
Check my pant leg to see like what the state of my leg is.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
is it-
You roll up your pants to look at your leg, and your leg looks fine. If you want to do like a medicine check, I'll allow that. If you want to like medically check your leg.
I mean, it seems smart. Not that that's my forte, but
You don't have to always do it. I'm just giving you the.
You know
the
everything
option to.
about yourself, so.
yep, that is also true.
And then. Yeah, you look down. You look down, and sorry. I'll compose myself. You look down and you're like examining your leg, but you're not very good at this. This is not your forte. You're not a doctor. You're kind of like poking at your leg and like, what's going on here? And as you do so, your pants start igniting, and your pants slowly catch on fire. Then your beautiful, all of your beautiful cloaks and clothing, anything that you're wearing that's cloth, ignites and catches fire, but your skin is not burning.
Can
And
I
you look
react
around
to
and you are naked. You are naked. The only thing you have on you is anything that is not cloth. So anything that's leather or anything of that sort, you still have on you.
This happens too fast for me to react. 'Cause
You
I
can't
have-
do any, like, there's nothing you can do about it. This is wild magic, baby.
Dang it! I have actual magic.
Yeah, so remove any items on your character that are
I don't have
not... Okay. Okay. So you're I'm assuming that everyone kind of wears pants and that kind of stuff, so... If you're
That's
wearing
very
if you're
kind.
wearing armor, it's like there's nothing under your armor now, type of thing.
Also, I don't need to wear armor.
But
So he's wearing nothing but a smile now then.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pretty much.
You can
God.
see my blue draconic scales that are like a little visible, delicately placed.
Okay, so now your scales are visible. That's cool.
Yeah. It's not like it looks good on him because he's a handsome dude.
Okay. They're well placed. Kind of like almost like it's a tattoo that has
Yeah,
been
exactly.
painted on your body. I love it. Yeah, and as you go like kind of moving about trying to like grasp your clothes or stop this fire from happening, what is it that you're doing like as this is happening?
Well, as my clothes catch fire, I attempt to cast Create Water to save them, but as I'm trying, it's already too late, so I'm like, well, damn. And I had so many nice clothes in that sinkhole.
Yep. No longer do you have your noble clothing. So maybe other people won't know that you're noble.
Will I be cursed to wear potato sacks like the humans do? This is
Perhaps.
madness.
Perhaps. Yeah, and as you're looking around, you spot something. There's
Better be in change of clothes, or that foot I lost.
you look around and you see a sickle. But it's not the sickle that you had on you. It is a different one. It has a different look to it.
Huh. Must be something I left in my suitcase or something. I go to grab it.
Yeah, you grab the sickle, and now you have this item on you. Thank you to Frank for the wild magics as well as Eamon for the wild magics. Appreciate it, and of course for the magic item. And well, you didn't tell me who it was for, so I gave it to Paladin and Hulk. I hope that was okay. We'll find out what it is. Okay. I have quite a few other things that are on this list, but we'll get to them. So I just want to give a thank you to Aurora Marie. I'm noting that. I'll figure out something. Doozer Pindan, thank you. And of course, Eman, once again, thank you so much. Okay. We're gonna leave you there. What do you do? Are you gonna continue walking into the town with your one leg? How are you even walking? Are you gonna grab like a stick and try to like give yourself some balance so that you can walk? You still are a mile away from town.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find like a stick maybe druidcraft to help it out a little.
Oh yeah. Are you looking for the stick first and then doing druidcraft on it?
That makes sense.
Okay. Roll me a perception check to find a stick that can work for what you're looking for.
Okey-doke.
Especially since there's half the ground, like the ground in front of you is all sunk in, and
Ooh.
Well, a natural
23.
20.
You find this perfect branch from one of the trees. It has fallen off. It looks, it's perfectly tall enough for you. You kind of check the height on it, and it's almost as if it was calling to you. And then go ahead and roll your druid.
I've been blessed.
Yes.
It is. And I stumble into town happily that, everything is going my way.
yeah, you do that, and you slowly start walking your way in. We're gonna go a little bit forward with Varys. Varys, as you open the door, you're looking into the inn. What are you trying to do here first? Are you just waiting for Baz to come meet up with you? Are you getting something to drink or eat?
I'll probably get a drink, maybe a bite to eat.
Okay. I like what you wrote in your bio. I'm wondering why you wrote that there.
I'm taking notes now.
Oh, okay, you're taking notes now.
Yeah.
I thought you were planning something. I'm looking at something. Hold on. So you're going into the inn to look for what exactly?
Basically wait for Baz to look for other people that, might be helpful when I go out to question the dragon on things.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
and I'll ask around, see if anyone else had, sightings, incidents with the dragon. Did it help? Did it do bad things?
Are you looking
Just
for a specific type of person, or are you just walking up to anybody who's in the inn and asking them questions?
Just anybody who seems like they might have information on, hey, there's been a dragon around town. You've been around town. Tell
Okay.
me.
Yeah. You just walk up to anybody and you're kind of asking them questions. The first person you see is a woman who is she's a human. She's sitting at the table. Looks like she's eating something. She has a really gross look on her face, like she just ate something that tasted really nasty. And looking over at her plate, it looks like there's maybe some potatoes on her plate and eggs.
Okay, I take a mental note. Don't take the potatoes and eggs.
Yeah, so that's who you see, and you can start talking to her as you wish.
Excuse me, miss. Could I have a moment of your time, please?
What do you want? I'm just trying to eat my breakfast.
Well, there've been, I'm sure you've, heard about this. There've been some dragon sightings around town recently. I'm trying to, go around and gather information, trying to find out, what's this dragon been up to? Have people, seen where it left towards, that sort of thing? Has it, inflicted damage on people, killed people?
Dragon? I don't know what you're talking about.
Interesting. I've encountered this dragon a fair few times. One time it took a giant T-Rex away. Are you sure you've never heard of this?
T-Rex? I heard someone talking about a T-Rex. Nothing about a dragon, though. Where did you see this?
I describe it it was right outside the church at some point. It swept in to flame a gaggle of gangrel that were approaching the stampede to town.
See? And this is why I don't go outside. Something's going on here. It's dangerous.
Yeah, I think that is safe to say, and we're trying to put a stop to that, hopefully.
She anxiously goes to eat her food because sometimes when people are anxious they eat, and so it's clear that that's what she was going to do. And as she puts the spoonful of potato in her mouth, she kind of holds it there, and then she sees you and she's trying to be polite and just trying to eat the potato even though it's disgusting.
Okay, so she looks like she's trying to swallow a sword right now, and it's not really working. So
Yeah.
I take it the potatoes and eggs are not recommended?
I don't know what's going on, but it tastes horrible. I'm gonna return it.
That seems like a wise course of action.
She
I
waves
just
down
look around for a second.
the barmaiden, and the barmaiden comes by and takes the plate. And, they have that exchange, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And she goes back, and it looks like when you look around and you're observing, what's your passive perception?
It's a 16.
You with a passive perception of 16, you kind of realize that she's been doing that with a lot of tables. A lot of tables have not been eating the potatoes.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, miss, you don't seem to be the only person in this predicament at the moment.
I don't know where they got those potatoes, but something's rank about them.
Might have been a bad harvest. They might have something wrong with their storage. Who knows?
As if we needed any worse luck.
Yes, the other day we were barely able to leave. That was an adventure.
What do you mean barely able to leave?
Well, it seemed like the door became a wall. I don't quite understand the specifics of it, but someone was able to cast magic on it and turn it back into a door.
She looks over
We
the
tried
door
chopping it to bits.
and looks back at you. This is why I just stay home.
It's an interesting town, that's for sure. Always something new to discover.
If there wasn't a reason for being here, I would just leave. But I have to stay.
Why might that be? I mean,
She
we all
looks-
have our reasons, of course.
She looks solemn and sad as you ask her this, and there's a long pause, almost awkwardly. So it might be enough time, even if you would like to say something, before she can speak up.
After a while, it's just like, if you'd rather not tell, I mean, that's fine too, of course. I don't mean to pry.
You see her look up at the mural on the left of the wall, and she's kind of looking at it like longingly. The mural is of some of your friends that you have met. Baz is in there, Uthal's in there, Roxy's in there, a couple other people. You see them, and it's like this epic battle against these fire elementals.
Is there a naked halfling on there that I somewhat vaguely remember?
There's not a naked halfling, but there is a halfling.
Okay, interesting.
But you do recognize that halfling, and when you met that halfling, he was naked. But in the painting, he's not. He's wearing his armor.
Good, good. Ah, it's got to do with the mural then.
No, I'm looking for the heroes on the mural.
Well, I might be able to introduce you to half of them.
Really?
Yes, in fact, I arranged to meet one of them later in the tavern here to discuss the dragon problem.
Can I stay with... Sit. And she like motions for the chair and offers the chair to you.
Thank you.
Do you drink anything?
I wouldn't mind a glass of ale.
She flags down the barmaid and asks for a couple glasses of ale. Moments pass and she brings them over. And the barmaid actually says, it's on the house. I'm sorry for the potatoes, and slides it over and leaves it there.
All right, well, to our health. And I take a very careful sip to see if there's anything wrong with the ale.
You take a very careful sip, and as you take the sip, it doesn't taste like anything unless you have a wild magic that makes things taste weird.
No,
Okay.
I had magic that made my teeth fall out, but
Yeah,
nothing to do
it just
with
tastes like
ruining
ale for you, and the woman doesn't even she doesn't even taste. She just chugs. She looks like she's having a bad day and chugs it.
We all have those days.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask her specifically?
Probably not specifics. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, about the dragon stuff. She doesn't sound like she comes outside a lot, so, like, asking about the elk is probably a moot point as well. So just, like, general pleasantries, like, inquire about the situation here. Ask her how she's doing, besides the potatoes and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, she doesn't really talk a lot about it, how she's feeling, other than she looks very sad and somber. But she does ask you a lot of questions about the heroes and when they're going to arrive, and she seems very impatient about it. And we're going to pan outside to, I believe, Uthal, you are just practicing with your weapon as Baz is watching. Are there any exchanges between you two other than that?
Perhaps when Uthal finishes, he'll ask if Baz wants to go grab some food in the tavern. If he's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
unless-
think he stays a while. And,
So
it sounds like a good idea.
perhaps we can get some breakfast before anything weird goes down.
Maybe. We're lucky today.
As you say that, you look over and there's something going on in the middle of the road. It looks like there's a wind that's whirling. What is both of yours passive perceptions?
10.
10 and
14.
10 and 14. All right. I'm checking one thing. All right. Yeah, you see something whirling, and it looks like you can't quite make it out. It looks like the dust is formulating.
Well, I spoke too soon.
Well, I spoke too soon. I like that.
He's probably just gonna walk up to it nonchalantly with the great sword like resting on his shoulder. Oh, I don't have a prop.
Aw.
Okay, you're gonna walk
Yeah.
up to it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk towards it at least. I don't know if I
Okay.
get up to it or not. In the
Baz also draws his axe.
Okay, you draw your axe, you walk towards it. Just as this is happening, Topher, you walk into town, stumble into town. To the left of you is a stable. There are a couple horses that are stabled here, as well as a griffin, and a donkey as well. And
I knew there'd be more horses.
a couple carts. The stable doesn't look like it's in the best shape, and it is quite small. To the right of you is a sign that says Flippedville, and around it actually looks quite clean. It looks like somebody might have cleaned it off, but the stone itself looks really unkept. The plants around it don't look any but like somebody has taken care of them or groomed them. So it doesn't look the best, but it does look like somebody cleaned off the sign. And as you walk further into town, you stand, and to the right of you, you see something whirling in the ground, like sand is coming up from the ground, or not sand, but like dirt and sand is. And just beyond that, what's your passive perception?
12.
And 12, yeah. Just beyond that, you see two other figures that seem to be, one of them seems to be walking up towards it, and the other quite slowly behind him. The reason why you can see this creature is because the creature that's walking up to it is quite large, almost as big as like this spiraling sand storm looking thing that's in the middle of the road. And you see a bunch of buildings. Forward from you is a road that it looks like there's a church to the left, and to the right it looks like if you went down that road that past this weird sandstorm is the inn.
All right, well, let's keep my eye on this weird sandstorm creature to make sure it's not a threat.
Okay. We'll pan back over to Uthal. Uthal, you're walking up to it. How close are you getting before you say something?
Probably gonna get within 20 feet of it before I come to a stop and just, like, maybe say something to Baz. I'm gonna say this right eventually.
I know, we all say it wrong. It's hard to say his name. Yeah. You walk up to it. You're about 20 feet from it. And you're going to say something to Baz? Baz?
Yeah. I'm gonna ask him if he had. Have you seen anything like this before?
I guess that's a roll from me, which is
Yeah, if you want to do like a memory check of some sort, I guess you could do. I think that would be like int or whiz say check. Yeah.
Either way, it's a natural 20 because I have so many of them.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I knew everything about these.
Has Baz ever encountered a what looks like a sandstorm in Baz's history?
I imagine that when he was in the military, I think that he may have come up against a battle mage who was conjuring things like that.
Yeah.
And his unit was sent in to bring him down.
I love it. Yeah, you've totally seen something like this before. And you're welcome to RP your response to him.
Well, what is it that I actually know about them? Like,
You've just seen, like what you said, you've seen a battle mage who has summoned something like this before, like some kind of sand elemental creature. You don't know if this is an sand elemental creature per se, but that's what it looks like from first glance.
it appears to be a sand elemental. I've faced them before.
Is it magic then? Or is it like, has it been summoned? Perhaps?
I can't say for this one, but they can be summoned.
And apparently I'm being told that ale is made out of vegetables, so the ale would have tasted nasty, but for my sake, it's not, okay?
We need to drink something in this godforsaken town.
It was imported.
It was imported. Yeah, there we go. Oh,
Well-
it was pre the... It wasn't fresh, right?
Fair.
Yeah. What are you going to do with this knowledge, Uthal?
Knowing that it could be possibly some sort of elemental, and his last encounter with elementals inside the village didn't go too well,
Yeah.
going to immediately take a swing at it.
Everyone roll me initiative, including you, Tover. Except the only person who doesn't roll me initiative is going to be Varys at the moment.
I forget, do we use nat 20s for the initiative? Or no?
I normally don't, but you,
Okay.
you
I was just
could.
trying to remember. It's been a little bit.
But you can if you want.
Nope, I'm good with it.
Alright, so we've got Uthal with a 16. We have Baz with a 9. And we have Tover with a 4. Perfect. Uthal, yeah, you take a swing at it. Go ahead and give me your swing.
So am I able to get in melee with it, or...
Yeah, you're gonna rush forward and attack it.
Okay,
So that's why you're rolling initiative.
yep. I was just wondering if... this is actually a nat 20. I've got 5.
All right.
Well, not 4.
Yeah, you use your nat 20, and
Here, I'll throw that in there so I can get the damage.
yeah, roll us your damage. Tell us what it's like.
So, as I run up to this, I just trail the greatsword behind me with both my arms, and I just bring it around to try to like slash through this like magical being of sand.
Is that 25 damage, or is
Yep,
that force
25.
damage?
I didn't use
Okay.
the
Okay, 25.
I didn't use the
Alright.
charges.
You slash through what looks like a creature to you, but as you do so, the sand slowly dissipates, and you see a human woman standing there. She's wearing a blue cloak, and she has the cloak over her head, but you can see little bits of long black hair kind of coming down from her inside of her cloak. Her eyes are like piercing blue, and the only reason why you can really see that is because the juxtaposedness of her blue eyes to the black hair is just very intense. And she looks to you as you swing at as you make that intense swing at her. And she's actually going to use a shield to not take that damage. So you see her kind of put her hand forward, and a magical circle appears in front of her, and it's like a purpley blue magic, and it looks almost like a shield spawned from her hand, and it blocks the damage, and your swing hits this as the swirling slowly disappears of the sand.